Welcome back, Pre-Algebra. We are in lesson 36. We're going to talk about rate word problems. So a rate is simply a comparison or a relationship between two numbers. So for instance, if I have 10 oranges and those 10 oranges cost me $2, then I can say that I have a 10 to 2 relationship between the oranges and how much they cost in dollars. Right? I can also say that for every $2 that I spend, I can get 10 oranges. So it's like a sentence almost, the way that we're writing this. We are saying that we begin with the numerator, 10 oranges cost $2. Or we can look at this rate and reverse it and say, for $2, I can buy 10 oranges. All right. So that is the two ways that these ratios relate to each other. It's all about the subject. Which one are you putting in the subject? And the subject is going to be the numerator. That's the way you are focusing or what you are focusing on first in your ratio. Okay, so we use these ratios to help us to figure out values of other quantities, whether it is more oranges or more dollars, or, if this is the amount that we can get for this, then if I want to buy more of these oranges, how much would it cost me? So that is kind of how ratios work. They give you a guideline of value, right? So let's clear the page. Let's jump into the first problem. Our first problem says it's 36.1, and it says that 20 apples cost $5. And then the question is, how many apples can we buy for $80? So here's how we set this problem up. First of all, we have to look at our ratios. So we have a 20 apples to $5, right? But the other ratio is $5 to 20 apples. Those are our two ratios, right? We can use this one or we can use this one, depending on what we are looking for. So what we're looking for is how many apples. This is what needs to go in the numerator of our ratio. So this is in the numerator, so this is the one we are going to use. So we'll set up our problem like this. We'll say 20 apples over $5. And now we're going to bring this value in, okay? And we're going to write this as if it were a fraction itself. And the way we turn a whole number into a fraction is by putting that whole number over 1. So we're going to write $80 over 1. We're just going to leave it like that, right? It's fine. So one of the things that I see is that we have two things that are the same, and we can cancel the dollars out because we're not looking for dollars. We're looking for a quantity. We're looking for how many apples. So the dollars goes away. When you see it twice, we get to do what's called canceling. We can cancel it out. just like we do with factors when we want to simplify a fraction. So now we set this equal because that's all we have. That's all the information we need. And then we do the math. So we say 20 times 80. That is going to be 1,600. And that's the only unit of measure we have left is apples. But then down on the bottom in the denominator, we have 5 times 1 is 5. So in order to figure out how many apples we can get with $80, we have to divide this by 5. So 1,600 divided by 5, that is going to be equal to 320 apples. And that would be our answer. Okay, so now let's look at 36.2. I'm going to clear this. 36.2 says the same thing. We have 20 apples, and we can get 20 apples for $5. But what we would need to know is, what is the cost of 40 apples? How would we find that? First, we have to create the ratios that we need. So 20 apples for $5, or $5 for 20 apples. Okay, so now we have to decide, what are we looking for? Well, this is asking us, what is the cost of 40 apples? So we need dollars to be in the numerator. So that would be this ratio right here. So $5 over 20 apples. And we're going to multiply that by 40 apples. So 40 apples. Put that over 1 because this is a whole number. And now we're going to cancel apples and apples because they match up. We can cancel them out. 5 times 40, that's going to tell us how many dollars. 5 times 40, that's $200. And that 200 is 20 times 1, that's divided by 20. So 200 divided by 20 is 10, and we bring down our unit of measure, and that is dollars. Okay, so 40 apples would cost us $10, and that is how we would do those types of problems. Whatever this is looking for is what needs to be in the numerator of the rate that you choose. Okay, so if it's looking for cost, then you look for the cost up here. If it's looking for a quantity, then you would use the quantity. So you have to make sure you know what the question is asking you for. All right, and that is all we have for lesson 36. I'll see you in lesson 37.